Daniel, you are now live, big guy.
Well, good afternoon, everybody out there in Instagram world or whatever channel you're looking on now. My name is Dan, and I'm here from PACRIM. And
Dan's a saucy boy.
We're here to talk about beer and everything about beer. We're talking about not only beer reviews, but we also like to talk about the business of beer. Excuse the printing in the background. You are in a live office here, people.
Say hi to Daniel. Daniel, son, what's up?
Today we're going to talk about some of the breweries that we work with, and we're going to talk about their easy drinking beers. So here we have got a Phillips Pilsner, handcrafted, straight from Victoria.
Witches and Warlocks is here. What's going on, brother?
Witches and Warlocks. How you doing, my friend? Next we have got a Parallel 49 craft lager.
Okay.
That we've got here. Next we have got a Postmark Blonde ale.
All right.
Okay. And then we're going to follow it up with a Red Racer Pils. Okay.
So all easy drinking beverages today, Dan. And why is that?
Beverages.
Why did you choose easy drinking today?
Because it was an easy drinking type of day.
All right. Cool. Shitty weather outside.
Start with the first of all. Also in the background we have got Current Swell playing. I put them on because we like to have local bands in the background. Don't sue us, Current Swell. Also, I'm going to their concert on Friday. Pretty stoked for that. So
you would be, you hipster.
Dropping the old kid off with the parents in
cool
in Duncan, then heading down to Victoria.
Cool.
It's gonna be lovely.
Awesome.
Yes, you need that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's get right into the Parallel 49.
Talk to it.
So this one, 5% alcohol. This is their big selling ones. They do 15 packs of this. First of all, let's talk about the can. I love the can, and it's interesting for anybody outside of British Columbia watching right now. They actually want to be changing their can from this iconic kind of East Van logo, and they're going to be changing it. Not sure about the new logo or what it's going to look like, but people that are outside of Vancouver aren't familiar with this logo, and they kind of equate it to, of course, a cross. So it has a religious undertone, and they are trying to avoid that. So apparently they're going to be changing their logo going forward. It's kind of interesting. So
cool. But
let's get right in this. This one here. This is one of my favorites. I tend to pick up a 15-pack of this when we're going camping or something like that. It's actually grown with Chilliwack hops, which is pretty cool. Nice little local aspect there. So obviously today in this tasting we're not going to be hitting any big flavors, but this of course is a lager, which is a bottom fermenting yeast, and despite lagers have less flavor, they are probably more difficult to brew, and they take longer to brew as well. Ales are much faster to brew. We'll get into that a little later too.
Super crisp.
Nice and crisp. Bit of like a caramel, kind of smooth flavor to it. A lot of times in lagers, and sort of Main Street lagers, it's crisp, but it really finishes.
Right.
Quick. And they want to do that because they make you drink more, right? They don't want a nice, long, lasting taste. This one's got a bit of a longer lasting one, a little bit of sweet tone to it, a little bit of caramel in there. That's what I tasted. How about you, Garrett? What do you taste?
Yeah, along the lines. Same type of grainy. Very light. Do you know what I mean? It's a light beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's move right on because I actually have to run down to Parallel 49 and do some business.
You're not a businessman.
I'm a businessman.
I feel like today's a mellow day for everybody out there. Hey?
This is a mellow day?
Witches and Warlocks.
Big day here.
Witches and Warlocks says it's a difficult beer to brew. Irene Eats, we actually just sent her some beer over to Singapore.
They say it's not a difficult beer to brew?
It is a difficult beer to brew.
It's just the consistency with lagers.
Yeah. You're not hiding behind anything, Dan.
Exactly. The consistency behind lagers is tough because any small change, the taste is going to come out so much more than, say, like a big beer where you can mask it behind some hops or some malts, right? So, which is more like, I don't know what they're talking about, man.
If anybody wants to join our live feed, just send a little request to us, and we can chat all about these beers that you're tasting. Happy to do it with you.
Why don't we go from a lager? We've got, despite this is all the reason drinking, we've got a lager here.
Yeah.
Then we've got a Pilsner, we've got another Pilsner, and we've actually got an ale.
Can we drink the Phillips Pilsner? Because I want you to talk to the labels really quick and why that's ripped. Explain to us why that's ripped.
We'll talk about Pilsner. So this is Phillips, obviously done on the island. These guys do all their own malting on site, which is absolutely fantastic. I wonder if their tasting room's open. It's got to be soon. Maybe I'll go there this weekend.
Maybe.
Hey, there we go.
There you go.
I'll do that. We're going to talk to their labels. So their bottles, they use the industry standard bottle. You want to hit this? You want to hit that?
Of course, brother.
Okay.
Do I want to hit this? How dare you?
But talking to their labels, yeah, you'll see it's ripped here. They get ripped a lot easier. They use 100% recycled paper. These guys are very environmental conscious of what they do. So thank you for doing that and being awesome. Phillips. You guys are just sweet.
The bottles also get rings down here,
Yeah.
Daniel. If you can see everybody looking, you see the rings there. There's some, and there's some on the top, up there too. Why does that happen, Dan?
The rings on the bottle, because this is an industry standard bottle, so because it's an industry standard bottle, but they use it up to about 14 times.
Correct.
Before they smash it and then reuse it. So these are all the same bottles that you'll see Molson Canadian come in, Coors Light, Budweiser, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, that's terrible. It's great. It's awesome for the environment. These are reused 14 times.
And they develop the rings because if you can imagine this bottle sitting down next to another bottle,
clinking,
clink, 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 and they rub against each other.
Yes.
So you get rings up along here, and you get rings down there, and you can see them. Like I said, there's some up there.
Let's talk about the beer. I get nice little floral notes.
Do you?
Mm.
Oh yeah, a little bit. It's a classic Pilsner. I mean,
Yeah. A little bit more of a little more hoppy in there. That probably comes from the floral notes. Probably coming from the hops.
it's definitely a little bit more than the lager,
And this
the
one
craft
is
lager.
actually, we talked about easy drinking beers and pilsners and lagers being harder to make.
Yeah.
This one's can be expensive too because they cold age it. So correct me if I'm wrong out there. I believe lagers.
Well, we're looking to you, witches and Morlocks, but
Totally.
yeah.
I believe lagers you're looking at aging like 3 to 4 weeks. Ales are like 1 to 2 weeks, and these are actually cold. So basically, imagine refrigerating a massive tub of a massive vat of beer.
Si, senor.
Yes. So this one's actually cold aged. So
Cool. That makes sense.
great stuff. Like this one. I drank a few of these cans myself.
Yep.
Very nice. Now I want to move over to the postmarks.
Bada bing. You're
That's
going
amazing.
quick through these.
I'm going quick. I
gangbusters.
gotta go. I got things to do, man.
I like it.
I don't just sit around drinking beer all day on Instagram.
Sure you do.
I know, I kind of do. But, so moving over to Postmark, these boys are just in Railtown there. So they went with a blonde, and exactly what I was just talking about. Easy drinking beers are a little harder to brew. And more expensive. So what these guys did, because they've got minimum space, they're right in Railtown or Yaletown, or sorry, Gastown you can call it.
Yeah.
Very expensive footprint that they have there, right? So they don't have as many tanks as some of these big guys out in the outskirts
Right.
have. So what they did is they did a blonde ale. Okay.
Ooh,
So
I just love craft beer joined. What's up, guys?
I love craft beer.
Hey, we love your Instagram account. You guys are awesome.
So what these guys did was make a blonde ale, so it's a shorter time to brew.
Right.
So an ale being just a different type of yeast, that would be a top fermenting yeast, but it would probably, they only have to brew for like 1 to 2 weeks type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I'm butchering the timelines here, but it's about that. So, but these guys made this choice. So it's still a very easy drinking beer, similar to lagers, similar to pilsners.
Yep.
But just a shorter span of brewing process.
I'm also going to interrupt you again, Danny boy. If anybody watching, if you want to take control, if you want to hijack our feed, let us know, and then we can do a split screen and we can chat to you.
We had our first hijack last week.
It was awesome.
We had at the Flying Beer Girl here.
We did.
And I gotta say, having her here, our Instagram was just blowing up. It was fantastic.
She's amazing.
And we had Sea to Sky Beer Guy join live via the interweb.
The interwebs.
And by the way, if you guys watched that one, you'd notice that we sampled, I think, 12 beers. We kept going past that. we had some friends come.
We
join
started
us.
at 1 and we left
Jesus.
here at 10:30.
I walked out of here sideways.
That was a long one.
That was a big night.
Yeah.
That was a big night.
Yeah.
That was a work day that started at 7 a.m. and I don't think we walked out of here till about 10.
That's how China works. We had our Chinese distributor walk in at
That's
around
right.
6 o'clock.
That's right.
And we
Henry, shout out.
My wife also just joined. Hey, Christina.
wifey.
Hey, lovely.
All right. So again,
We
we're
love
moving
you.
into the postmark here. This one is described as craft, clean, crisp. I love that they do that on the label because they're very.
Let me get a shot really quickly of the label too.
Something.
Shout out to Steve and Nate out there, and Dom, and all you other
I was
characters.
just there. I just picked this up at the brewery about an
Yeah.
hour ago. Nate
Ooh,
was in a
Danny
meeting.
joined too.
Nate was in a meeting and I was picking up some samples, so I
Yeah.
picked up a lot more than I was supposed to. Sorry, Nate.
Super cool. There we go.
I like this one. Clean, crisp. That's exactly what it is. This one cuts off nice. You can drink a ton of these. These are your sessionable ones, and also it's only 4.2% alcohol.
An interesting point about this is we
Cut me off one more time.
Sorry, buddy. I'm talking about Thailand. So
Just kidding.
when we were in Thailand, there's a bunch of different craft beer bloggers that we were actually chatting with, and this was ironically one of their favorites because it obviously is a simple thing. And these are drinkers that typically don't do a lot of crazy types of beer, right? They're doing things that are a little bit easier to drink, but the thing with Postmark and really a lot of other beers are the ingredients are just such high quality. You've got really pure Canadian Rocky Mountain water, you've got great ingredients, great brewmasters, a facility that's clean, So they weren't really used to drinking this type of beer, and when they had it, just a simple blonde ale blew their socks off.
Well, because they know
which is awesome.
It's difficult to do, and also, you know what? A lot of the beer that is brewed in Southeast Asia tends to be a little on the sweet side.
Yeah.
And that's on purpose. The palate over there is a little sweeter. A lot of our beers that do really well over there, they tend to be the sweeter beers.
Yeah.
So when this comes in, it really cuts through it, which is really nice. So,
yeah.
Good job, Dominic.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Tommy,
bud.
you're killing it, buddy. You're killing it. We also have a bunch of videos coming forward with Postmark through our sister channel, the Canadian Craft Beer Collective.
The other thing with this beer too, I mean, this is a 4.2, so most light beers, like your Coors Light, Bud Lights, they're all 4. So to have as much flavor and as much, I mean, it has 18 IBUs. To be honest, the balance is there. It doesn't even taste like 18 IBUs, but to have a light beer, because I mean, this could be classified as a light beer.
Yeah.
But have that much flavor and still that much to it is pretty damn good. They do a good job.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyways, we were saying about the Canadian Craft Beer Collective, everybody, is that we were at Postmark and we shot some videos, and what we're going to be doing is we will release those also on this channel as well, and we'll let you guys know. Some of them are actually really funny. We did an interview with Dom with a Spruce Tip Saison from Postmark. I was watching the preview of this video. I was pissing myself. I'm not
I haven't seen that one yet.
You haven't seen it? Yeah, no, oh, it's amazing, man. It's so good. Dom is just obviously killing it. So look out for those in the next little while. Dan, can I ask you one serious question?
Yes.
Why the hell do we have a 50-inch TV just sitting on a bar like that looks like it's from the early 2000s? Can you explain this to me?
It probably is from the early 2000s. Yeah, it was probably a $5,000 TV back in the day.
Yeah. Why is that sitting there?
My wife does good things in the world. She works for Children's Wish organization.
She does work for Children's
and
Wish.
And they had this at the back, and she hates clutter. So they said, Esther, just get rid of it. And so she thought we might want it. And then I said, we don't want it. And she said, just take it.
Well, it's here.
So I took it. And I'll tell you what, we will sell this TV, okay, to anybody who comes by our office and gives us 3 sandwiches.
3 sandwiches. Doesn't matter what it is, people.
3 sandwiches, and this TV's yours.
Dan's highballing too. We'll take 2 sandwiches.
We'll totally take 2 sandwiches.
2 sandwiches. Any 2, anytime.
Honestly, swing by McDonald's, get me 3 cheeseburgers. This bad boy is yours.
It's yours.
Okay.
Okay. And now, what's going on with this? Because it's our office is a pretty much of a mess right now.
As far as packing, okay. Well, let's talk about it. We are sending samples all throughout the world to get the good word of craft beer out there.
We are.
And so far we've sent, I think, in the last 2 weeks. I say we, meaning you. Have sent, I believe, 3 different packages to China, going to Russia. There's been Costa Rica. There's been Sweden. Where else are we going with these? France,
Spain, India, Dubai, Norway, Sweden, Belgium, the Netherlands. 3 into China, 2 into India, 3 into the different ones at Dubai. Like,
yes.
We're blowing our DHL account up. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah. And why are we doing that, Dan?
Just this. I don't know. We're doing that because we're working with a lot of distributors overseas, and obviously craft beer, you need to taste it. You need to love it.
You need to taste it,
if you
but...
you want to spread the good word of craft beer, you got to have some liquid on that.
But the other big thing, which Dan fails to illustrate right now, is that a lot of these distributors who sell into Asia aren't based in Asia. Dan? IDS, for example, which sells into Dubai, sells to all the Canadian embassies worldwide. Like, they have commissaries. I think there's 3,300 commissaries from Canada worldwide.
We sent one to Dubai. That's actually a possibility to sell to NATO.
Yeah, and if you want to sell into one of these people, or if you want to sell into an account that the Canada has that services the Canadian military, or a million other different accounts associated with the Canadian government or the Trade Commissioner Service, you have to sell into where, Dan? Into Dubai. So that's why we ship there. But really, we're talking to everybody.
Yeah.
What are you looking at, Dan? What are you?
I'm taking a look at the label.
You're creeping me out.
Guys, we're gonna go on to Red Racer Pilsner here.
Well, crack it. I want some.
So, do you want some of this? You never tried this?
No, I've never tried that in my life. You're right.
No.
Give it to me.
Let's hit you.
Postmark. Never had this.
Side pour.
I've never had this in my life.
Side pour. Nice done.
Look at you go, bud.
But
decent carbonation, nice levels.
We are gonna go
still
with
relatively hazy.
nice
Can't see
levels.
Dan's beautiful
You don't
face.
know what that means.
Shut up, Dan.
It's West Coast.
It tastes like West Coast in a glass. That's Dan's go-to.
We can have a drinking game if you guys are at home watching this. You can do a drinking game. Every time I say West Coast in a glass, you gotta drink.
Or if we ever say West Coast in a glass, send us a DM on Instagram calling us out for it, and we'll send you some beer.
And we will drink.
Yeah, we'll send you some beer in our
Let's
DHL
have an
account.
Instagram drinking game. This could be fun.
This is a horrible idea.
So we're going next to Red Racer. Red Racer is brewed by Central City.
Yeah.
Central City has won so many medals, it's ridiculous. They've got a couple gold medals on the side there.
There's two.
So
they
this
were
is a Pilsner.
Canada's best brewery.
Let's talk about the
twice.
difference between Pilsners and lagers. There's not really a difference. Pilsners,
Witches and Warlocks, I hope, calls you out.
yes.
We'll see what he says.
Is he?
Yes.
Is there a difference? Well, Pilsner essentially comes from Czech, right? And the Czech Republic was the first to brew this style of beer. And so essentially it came from Pilsner. And Pilsner kind of came then when it went to North America, it became a lager.
Okay.
But essentially it's the same strain of yeast. There's differences in it, just like there's different lager yeast, but there's different Pilsner yeast. I think it depends on just what yeast you're using.
Dan, what do you think?
Is that right?
I 100% agree.
He 100% agrees, guys.
He concurs.
He concurs.
So let's dive right in.
Yeah.
These guys kill it. This is a nice, just nice and dry one from what I remember. But let's have a gander.
I haven't had this in at least a week. It's been a while. It seems really light.
Just
You can
dropped
tell.
off a couple days ago.
Look at that
by the fine
nice
people.
fluffy head.
Let's have a cheers.
Super clear.
Salud.
Cheers, buddy.
Prost.
Cheers. Cheers to everybody out there. We love you. Mr. Instagram community. Ooh.
It is. I think dry is a great way to describe this one. It is quite dry.
What else?
This is my thinking about beer face. I go down. Is that right, Karen?
Sure, bud. Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you say. Oh my gosh. Can we talk to you also
Dry,
about one?
this is a really quick finish.
My wife says cheers. I love you, girl. She's a teacher for everybody watching. Miss Christina Shies.
She, if I remember, you told me right.
She's teaching grade
She
2,
drinks
bud.
all day at internet. She's about a bottle of whiskey. Is that right?
She teaches grade
Is that
2s.
right, Christina?
She's a good human
I
being.
totally just got her fired. That wasn't even funny. You can't even joke about that stuff with teachers.
Her principal's watching.
Total. I was just kidding. I'm just joking.
I'm sorry.
Joking.
Tell me more about this beer, Dan.
Let's talk about Central City.
Okay. Let's do it.
First of all, their brewery is it's not out there. Most of the breweries that we deal with are right here in East Vancouver. There's one in Victoria, which is of course Phillips.
Yep.
And the other one is Central City, which is in Surrey.
Yeah.
And they're right at the bottom of Surrey. If you're looking at a map, they're at the bottom of Surrey, and they're kind of like underneath the bridge. It's an area that's getting developed, and it's a bunch of warehouses that's going on.
Right.
But I love the way that Darren, who's our VP of sales, described it when they go back there. He calls it the Death Star, and it actually looks like the Death Star kind of. It's kind of this rounded front to it. But you walk in, it's a brand new brewery. God, it's squeaky clean. Like, it's absolutely beautiful in there. And you walk in, and they have a liquor store there, and they also do tours through it as well.
Cool.
And very cool spot. Very cool spot. It's off the beaten path as far as kind of checking out different breweries. I highly recommend you check it out. These guys have won Best Brewery twice in the last 5 years.
Yep.
They're on fire.
They are.
What are you signaling at me for?
We gotta end this video.
We gotta end this video.
We gotta
Guys,
end
we gotta go. I gotta run down to Parallel 49 right now.
I want to give a shout out to Carlos and Candace because they're awesome. I want to give a shout out to Irene because you're awesome. And Witches and Warlocks, you're also awesome. My wife.
Is
My
there,
wife.
there's someone Irene watching?
Irene, yeah.
That's my wife's middle name. I love that name, Irene.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
We also shipped some PACRIM Beer Club stuff to her, and she did a really good review of not the Postmark Stout. What was it of, Irene?
What'd you do, Irene?
It was in the Filthy Dirty IPA. It was
Where is
Blue Buck.
Irene?
Phillips Blue Buck.
Where is Irene?
Anyways, we love you guys. Stay in touch, everybody. Number one, if you'd like to try any of these beers, bada boom, give us a shout. Hashtag PACRIM Beer Club in our DM, and we will send you some free of charge. Number two, look out for Canadian Craft Beer Collective. Those guys are awesome. We are also associated with them. They do great videos. Take a look for that.
Also, thank you to Current Swell for providing the background music. If you guys want to see them, they are playing Friday and Saturday night at Sugar Nightclub in Victoria. It used to be called Sugar. I forget what it's called. I'm old. I call it Sugar.
Okay, that's awesome too. We're also going to give a shout out to all of our breweries. That's Parallel 49, Phillips, Postmark Brewery, Cole Harbor, Off the Rail, and Central City. Because we love those guys, and they do great beer. That's all I
Can I
got.
start a hashtag on this? Hashtag get Garrett in front of the lens. Can we do this?
Yeah, it's a
Should
momentum.
we get this guy set
It's a
up here?
momentum. Okay, we love you, everybody.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.